This is Standoff 2 Live, and today we're covering an important topic, game maps. You'll find out how our level designers create maps, why we're constantly updating them, and what features we take into account during development. Let's say we've started working on a new map for Standoff 2. Where do we begin? First, we decide what the map's environment will be. Desert, forest, mountains, or maybe an urban landscape. And what season? Summer, fall, or winter? Every choice is important, as it directly affects how the map feels and plays. After that, we determine the type of location. It might be an open-air space, or an enclosed maze, or anything in between that makes for a good battleground. But the most important thing is for us to keep the game data in mind when designing a map. The size and location of objects on the map should make sense compared to the size of our characters and how they move. For example, doorways can't be narrower than the characters, and step height should be designed so that characters can climb them smoothly. Action timings on the map are also a vital aspect of the game. These include the amount of time before the bomb explodes, how much time it takes to rotate between key points, and time spent in potential shootouts. For instance, the bomb explodes 40 seconds after it is planted, so it's important that characters, in their normal state, have enough time to run from one side of the map to the other while still being able to shoot and defuse the bomb. This means rotation shouldn't take more than 20 seconds. Another important aspect is fight distance. There are many weapon types in the game, and the designers make sure that our maps work for all gameplay styles, from close combat to long-range firefights. It's critical to avoid having only close or only long distances. If we disregard this principle, players will start using only one weapon type, which will limit weapon choice. Let's talk about another thing related to the maps in Standoff 2. Mistakes that might happen when creating them. The most common mistake is that, during the development phase, level designers may not be able to predict how players will act on the map. This means fights won't play out the way they're intended to, and the map will have to be changed. To illustrate that, let's talk about the well-known map Rust. The terrorists were supposed to attack bomb site B by going through long and mid. And what actually happened? Almost no one chooses mid, so long is the only option. But it's almost impossible to go through it. That's why this part of the map is unpopular. It's important to design at least two paths to the bomb site so that the attacking experience is still comfortable. Let's take a look at another problem using Rust as an example. The issue is boosts. Do you think the devs intentionally designed this multi-boost on the map? Of course not. Boost variations like this are unexpected for the designers, so the devs designed special boost spots to avoid forcing players to experiment with unintended boosts. This is the case for Breeze and the new Zone 7. Let's move on to the size of maps in the game. You're probably wondering, why aren't our maps as big as the maps in other games? Modeling a large map is doable, of course. The technical capabilities are there, but the problem is something else entirely, the game file size. Each map has its own file size. There are 7 maps in the game already, and constantly adding new ones is almost impossible because it will keep increasing the game's file size, which means the game will demand more resources, and then eventually, even powerful gaming phones may not be able to handle the load. Also, each map needs to be optimized to avoid requiring more resources than necessary. In the summer update, the thematic Breeze map started out much bigger than it is now. We made multiple rounds of changes before release day, and reduced the number of objects on it to ensure better optimization. And that brings us to the end of our video about maps in Standoff 2. Tell us what your favorite and least favorite maps are in the comments. Take care and GLHF.